Hey everyone, this is the last of the 6 video capsules on the intellectual operations. This particular capsule deals with establish causal connections. So again, we'll skip right through this. So here is the basic form or the basic idea behind the established causal connections IO. These questions usually ask students to determine causality. So if you're thinking to yourself, we already have an IO called cause and consequence. That's true. This one differentiates itself because it usually involves 3 items instead of just 2 items. So in this case, you see on the right-hand side, there's a causality between 3 different items. And what we get with the 3 different items is what we see in point 2, which is involve an A leads to B leads to C kind of chain. So in this particular case, we're dealing with the rebellions in Lower Canada, and we have how the 92 resolutions led to the Battle of Saint Eustache, or the rebellion itself, which led to Lord Durham's report. So in this case, we have an A leads to B leads to C, which this is how it differentiates itself from the cause consequence IO. So if we look at a developmental guide between a beginner understanding toward a more advanced understanding of these questions, here we're using the American Revolution, which appears in both Sec 2 and Sec 3 history. So if we look at, again, a very basic beginner version of the established causal connections type of question, the student will be given 3 documents. In this case, the Quebec Act, which was one of the intolerable acts, the Battle of Lexington, which was a battle in the Revolution itself, and the signing of the Treaty of Paris, which was, I guess, the end, quote unquote, of the American Revolution. So students will see that the Quebec Act, or the intolerable acts, led to the revolution itself, which led to the signing of the Treaty of Paris. A very simple, again, A leads to B leads to C kind of idea. If we look at an intermediate version of a similar question, we can actually see multiple causes for a particular event. So in this case, the particular event is the Declaration of Independence. And we have, again, the Quebec Act makes an appearance, but also the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia. So both of these things led to the Declaration of Independence. So here we see multiple causes. So these are causal connections here that we've made. If we jump ahead to an advanced version of this question, again, what you'll see is a 3 document sort of timeline here. One leads to the other, leads to the other. But in this case, what makes it advanced is that students need to construct a narrative out of these causal connections. So you see the Boston Tea Party, the Declaration of Independence, and a map of the US in 1783. So a narrative a student may put together is something like: the Tea Act of 1773 angered colonists to a point of civil disobedience. This escalated to a Declaration of Independence by the 13 colonies and a rebellion. By 1783, the successful revolution led to the emergence of a new country, the United States of America. So not only do we say something like the Boston Tea Party led to the Declaration of Independence, led to the map of the USA, or the USA itself, they would have to put better transitional words in there, really create a narrative, create like a story. So this is why I've highlighted words like this escalated to, and the successful revolution led to. Here you're really making a more specific and tangible connection between the 3 ideas, creating a narrative. So that was your developmental guide for the Establish Causal Connections IO, and I hope you've enjoyed the series.